Seeing the large hole blown through the suit of armor, the dwarves who had mocked Ren moments ago now stood in stunned silence. None of them could have imagined that such a small, tube-like weapon could unleash such devastating power. Bram stared fixedly at the firearm in Ren's hand. A look of awe mixed with fear was in his eyes. The fact that something so compact could pierce through a knight's armor was beyond comprehension. He couldn't help but wonder where on earth Ren had come up with these ideas. The emergence of such a weapon could change the entire balance of warfare across the continent, perhaps forever. Even end the age of knightly rule altogether. Ren himself was quite pleased with the test results. Turning toward Bram, he asked calmly, "Master Bram, what do you think of its power?" After a brief moment of shock, Bram suddenly knelt before Ren, speaking with utmost reverence. "Lord Ren, the dwarves shall forever pledge loyalty to you. Your intellect far surpasses ours. We are willing to serve as your blacksmiths and forge the most powerful weapons for you." Hearing those words, the dwarves standing behind Bram were horrified. They quickly protested. "Master, what are you saying? Why would you swear loyalty to him like that?" Bram turned toward them, his face full of fury. "Silence. Do you even realize what you've just created? Do you honestly think your bodies could withstand even one shot from that weapon?" His question left them speechless. They might have been slow-witted, but even they understood the terrifying truth. Before the power of gunfire, all beings are equal. Moments later, both dwarves also knelt down, imitating Bram's gesture. "Lord Ren, we dwarves swear our loyalty to you. Please don't make things hard for us in the future." Ren laughed heartily. "Don't worry, I have never forced anyone to please me." That statement only made Bram more confused. He couldn't comprehend what Ren truly meant. Then Ren spoke slowly, his tone calm but sharp as a blade. "In this world, the only thing that can make others follow me has never been oaths, but interests." Eyes widened in realization. Those words struck deep, and in that instant, he understood everything. He bowed his head again, speaking solemnly. "Lord Ren, we dwarfs swear that the design for this weapon will never be leaf. We will never betray you." Dealing with intelligent people always pleased Ren. He helped Bram to his feet, and said evenly, "We'll discuss the details later. For now, gather your people and start producing as many of these weapons as possible because war is coming." Bram straightened up and declared firmly, "We'll work at full capacity from this moment on." Not long after, outside the border city, the vanguard forces of the Empire appeared. They were setting up camp on a rocky cliff not far from the city walls. Leading them was Duke Karavan, who ordered his soldiers to establish camp and rest in place. His voice was firm and commanding. "Tonight, no one is to act recklessly. That is an order." Just then, a knight rode up beside him, confusion etched across his face. "My Lord Karavan, we're already at the city gates. Why stop here? Why not seize that small town right away?" Another knight chimed in, nodding in agreement. "Indeed, my lord, the city of Ilam is nothing more than a remote, desolate outpost. It doesn't even have a proper garrison. Why should we be so cautious?" Karavan sighed in exasperation. These men, he thought, were utter fools. With a tired, cold glance, he reminded them, "Have you already forgotten how Grand Duke Castle met his end here?" Karavan spoke in a deep, solemn tone. "Before his death, Grand Duke Castle sent me a letter. In it, he claimed that Ran Edgar used forbidden level magic during the war. You should all know that every human empire on this continent has long reached an agreement. The use of forbidden magic in warfare violates the fundamental rules of the world. So tell me, if Ran truly has a mage capable of casting forbidden spells under his command, what then?" Seeing Karavan's with a grave expression, the two knights beside him burst out laughing as if they had just heard the most ridiculous thing in the world. "Haha, my lord, that's impossible. You can't seriously believe the words of Grand Duke Castel. A poor backwater like Island doesn't even have a proper mage academy. How could anyone capable of forbidden magic possibly be there?" They both assumed that what Castel had written was nothing but a desperate lie to cover up his own humiliating defeat. Karavan didn't bother arguing with fools. In his heart, he believed every word Castel had written. There was no doubt in his mind a forbidden mage existed within Islam. Otherwise, how could a force of 100,000 soldiers have been completely annihilated? Moments later, Karavan gave a firm order. "No one is to discuss this matter any further. Set up camp and rest for the night. Tomorrow, I will personally bring a mage with me into Island's city to meet Ren." The knight's eyes widened in shock. "You plan to meet Ren? Lord Karavan, don't tell me you intend to negotiate peace with him." After a long moment of silence, Karavan shook his head, his gaze resolute. "No, I wish to meet him for two reasons. First, man must confirm whether he truly has a mage capable of wielding forbidden magic. In our current situation, we cannot afford to act recklessly. Otherwise, none of us can predict how this war will unfold. Second, we came here to suppress a rebellion, not to invade. Therefore, we need a legitimate reason before we act. You better restrain yourselves. If not, don't blame me for being merciless. The next day, inside Ren's mansion, a soldier entered the hall and reported, Lord Ren, Marshal Craven of the Ulvis Empire requests an audience. He has also brought a representative from the Mage Association, saying they wish to investigate the previous incident involving forbidden magic. Hearing this, Ren's eyes flashed with intrigue before a faint smile curved on his lips. So, there are still a few smart people left. In the Ulvis Empire. Very well, let them in. Not long after, Marshal Craven stepped into Ren's study. Upon entering, he spoke calmly and politely, I am Marshal Craven of the Ulvis Empire. It is an honor to meet you, Lord Ren. Ren smiled, his tone tinged with curiosity. Tell me, Marshal, why would a commander of the Ulvis Empire walk straight into the stronghold of his enemy before the war even begins? Craven replied evenly. According to the reports of the late Grand Duke Castel, he stated that you employed forbidden level magic during your battle against him. Under the tree among all human empires, forbidden mages are prohibited from taking part in warfare. Therefore, the Mage Association wishes to conduct an investigation into this matter. At that moment, the mage standing behind Craven spoke up, his tone sharp and threatening. Ren Edgar, we expect your full cooperation in this investigation. If you refuse, then, before he could finish his sentence, Rosalind's voice cut through the air. Furious. How dare you address Lord Ren by name, even if you are a member of the Mage Association? That does not give you the right to be disrespectful to him. As a mage, Rosalind said coldly, her voice sharp as ice. Do you not even know the most basic manners when addressing a noble? The mage sneered and replied in a disdainful tone. According to the regulations of the Mage Association, our activities are not bound by administrative procedures or the etiquette of the nobility. The Mage Association bows to no one, and Renegar is no exception, unless he can prove that he is both smarter and stronger than we are. I suggest you stop lecturing me about these meaningless rules of courtesy. Rosalind's anger flared, but she managed to contain herself. After a long breath, her voice turned cold and cutting. Then tell me, how exactly should Lord Ren prove that he is smarter and stronger than you? The mage smirked without a word, and pulled out a strange. He took out a mysterious-looking device, and placed it on the table. This, he said arrogantly, is a little toy I happened to acquire. If anyone here can fit this white wooden board perfectly into this frame, I will immediately bow to Lord Ren with the highest gesture of respect, and admit that his intellect surpasses mine. Ren looked at the so-called toy and couldn't help but smile faintly. Isn't that just a children's educational puzzle? He thought to himself. He's at least 40 years old, yet he's playing with this kind of thing. It seems his intelligence isn't much to brag about either. At that moment, Selena, who was standing nearby, whispered softly, wait, isn't that part of the mage promotion examination? I think it's called the legendary Tangram puzzle. Isn't it? Ring glanced at her, slightly intrigued. You know how this game works? Selena's eyes grew a bit distant as she explained. This question once appeared in the advanced mage examination. There are countless possible solutions, but in extremely rare cases, the puzzle pieces can fit perfectly into the frame. That requires an extraordinary level of spatial imagination and sharp logical reasoning. The old mage nodded approvingly, adding with pride, indeed, even a high-ranking mage would need quite some time to solve this riddle. It took me an entire month to figure it out myself. Lord Ren, if you truly possess the brilliance people claim you have, then please solve this mystery right here before me. If you can, I shall bow to you immediately and acknowledge that your intellect far surpasses my own. He let out a confident, mocking laugh, utterly convinced that Ren wouldn't be able to solve it. Ren, seeing that arrogant grin, could only sigh inwardly, a touch of helplessness crossing his expression. To think an old man like him spent an entire month trying to solve a toy meant for children 3 or 4 years old. He mused,